All right, welcome out to the first episode of the GT Sports College and Professional Sports. So I'm starting off a podcast where it's going to be sometimes pretty much short. Sometimes it may go a little longer. It depends on what I got to talk about. Where we're going to be talking about college and pro sports. That'll also include boxing, UFC matches, upcoming fights, NFL, MLB, college stuff. Baseball, softball, just stuff that I love to talk about that I follow every day. And I sit and watch, just like I love high school sports, I love college and professional sports. So I just call this GT Sports College and Professional. And I just come on and kind of give my thoughts, my 2 cents on what I'm seeing from teams that I like, teams that I don't really care for much. And if it stirs a debate between anybody that's watching on my page, then feel free to. I also, on the page, write up certain things. You're more than welcome to debate me or respond to something you may agree or disagree with, or maybe you can even come on the podcast here and we can talk it out here. I love, like I said, I love debating with anybody when it comes to sports. And so here, the first episode here, we're just going to talk about the NBA, first of all, because the playoffs just started right over the weekend, and I love the NBA. I followed the NBA for quite some time. I am a Spurs fan. When I was younger, I loved the Rockets. I was a Houston Rockets fan. I was a Hakeem Olajuwon, Ralph Sampson. You young guys probably aren't going to know who these guys are, but I loved watching them. But that was my team. And then as I got a little older, when Tim Duncan and those guys came, I switched over. I still love the Rockets, but I started following the Spurs a lot. Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. I'm not a Laker fan, but I always loved Magic Johnson's game. I was always a Magic Johnson. I love the way he played the game. I wasn't a Chicago Bulls fan, but I loved the way Michael Jordan played the game because I love playing ball. And so obviously you love those guys because they were stars. And so when it came to basketball, those are just some of the guys that I really liked a lot when I was young, but teams that I followed or that I really liked. I liked the Dallas Mavericks too at one point. They were pretty good as well. But I was really a Rocket fan, and now, yeah, I love the Spurs. And so let's just go ahead and start up with the see the playoffs. So I'm gonna go from yesterday's games. I know there were some games on Saturday, and but I'm gonna talk a little bit about the I believe Sunday's games, which were the Boston Celtics were taking on the Miami Heat, and of course Jimmy Butler is hurt. I look, I picked the Celtics to win the series. And I think they're going to go to the NBA Finals, or they should. But even when Jimmy Butler was healthy, I didn't think that they were going to be able to repeat this year what they did last year. I think the Celtics understand now how dangerous Miami can be, and they were not going to allow a team like Miami to beat them. At least I didn't think so. But when Jimmy Butler was hurt, I said, there's no way. I didn't think they could beat him with Jimmy Butler, much less without him. And so the Boston Celtics take game one over the Miami Heat, 114-94. Uh, and Jason Tatum, not a big night scoring, to me. He was 7 of 18 for 23 points, but he had 10 rebounds, 10 assists. So overall, he had a great game. Derek White, 6 of 10 for 20 points. He was 4 of 8 from 3-point range. And then the most impressive thing here was they got 30 points from their bench scoring. The Celtics are deep. They're deep, and anybody can beat. That's why I think they're tough to beat 4 times in a row, because if they play to the potential that they can play, they've got too many guys that can score. Their bench is good. Their starters, they've got a lot of guys that Holiday's a defensive guy. They have all of the tools to win the championship this year. For me, like I said, I think the Celtics are going to win this series, no doubt in my mind. But if they do not win a championship, because I think that's how good this team is, they get to the finals. Obviously, that's good. But I think this team needs to win a championship. If they don't win one, then I think they're going to be very disappointed. I think the fans are going to be disappointed because I think everybody that sees the Celtics excuse me, especially Celtics fans believe that they have the team this year. They had it last year to win. So they've got to get to the NBA finals, and they've got to win. Anything less than that, disappointing season for me. For Miami, like I said, Bam Adebayo, 10 of 18, 24 points. That guy's a beast. And then Wright was 6 of 7 for 17 points. He was 5 of 5 from 3-point range. So they just don't have enough. I just don't think Miami has enough to beat the Celtics 4 times in a row, even with Jimmy Butler. I know people are going to say, well, he did it last year. But like I said, I think the Celtics woke up. I think they realize now how dangerous this Miami team is. And so I think they're on alert. And I don't think they're going to let that happen. So I'm going to take the Celtics to win the series. I think Boston, I think Miami, if Jimmy Butler doesn't come back, they could get swept. If he comes back, they might win one. So I don't know how healthy he'll be, but but I'm going to take the Celtics in 5. I just don't see the Heat beating them more than once, if even that. So we'll go to the next game that was played yesterday, and that was let's see, the Clippers and the Mavericks. I think I have the Clippers winning the series. I've actually had the Clippers winning, getting to the NBA Finals. I had the Clippers and the Celtics. But Kawhi Leonard is hurt right now, and I don't know, and they don't know when he's going to come back, if he's going to be able to come back. And I think that changes everything for me. Because when you have Kawhi and Paul George, who are your main scorers, anything you get from Harden and Westbrook is a plus. And Harden is still able to give you in a series maybe 2, 3, maybe good games, 2 good games. Westbrook probably has about the same amount, so that's why this team is dangerous amongst the other role players that they have. Kawhi Leonard gets hurt, that changes everything, right? So in game 1, and then the Mavericks have been playing good. And so I had this conversation today. I still think the Clippers can win this series, but now I think it's a little bit, they just got a little tougher without Kawhi, and I'll tell you why. In game 1, the Clippers take the win 109-97. James Harden was 8 of 17 for 28 points. He was 6 of 11 from 3-point range. I mean, this guy started off hot. Paul George, 8 of 20 for 22 points, 4 of 12 from 3-point range. So Paul George and Harden were on 3 points on the 3-pointer last night, right? If you go to Dallas and the Mavericks, they started off horrible. I mean, really looked like they had no energy when they came out. And he picked it up in the second half, but by then they were down so much, I didn't think they were going to be able to come back. Although they made it a little interesting. That game was over in the first half. But Luka Doncic was 11 of 26 for 33 points. He was 4 of 12 from 3-point range. Kyrie Irving was 10 of 18 for 31 points. It's 3 of 6 from 3-point range. So no Kawhi Leonard in game 1. The next game for them is tomorrow. So again, this is where it gets a little interesting to me. The Clippers still got a great team without Kawhi Leonard. I mean, because Paul George is capable, James Harden and Russell Westbrook. But here's where I get a little bit where I think now without Kawhi, the Mavericks can win, because James Harden, history tells you, he has one good game. The next game probably going to be bad, because that's usually what you see from him when he was in Philadelphia. I mean, you see one great game, and the next game 7 points, 8 points. He just has a horrible game. So as I said earlier, I think you may get 2 good games out of him in a series. If he scores 13 or 15, that's not enough. If Westbrook only gets 13, right? Because there's no Kawhi Leonard. And so I think now everything falls on the shoulders of Paul George. And I'm not saying that Paul George can't have big games, but without Kawhi Leonard, now you're asking more of Westbrook and of Harden every game, I think. And I don't think they're capable of doing that. I don't think Harden can come out in game 2 and do what he did. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think so. History tells me that he has a good game, then he has a bad game. And And I don't know what Westbrook can give you. So if in game 2 Westbrook has 11 and Harden has 9, then that puts the load on Paul George to have a really good game, or some of the other players who are capable to have a big game. Because when you look at Dallas, I think that Luka Doncic, if they played 7 games, if they went to a 7th game, Luka Doncic can score 30 plus points in every single game, all 6 games leading up to the 7th game. I have no doubt Luka can get 30 plus every single game. Kyrie Irving can get 30 plus every single game. They can manage 30 plus games every game that they play in this series, I believe. And so, if any additional help that they get from the other guys, they become dangerous, right? Because your 2 studs can get you 30 plus every single game. Again, I'll say that because I believe that to be true. So if Hardaway Jr., if any of those other guys start getting hot, possibly they're going to win. But I don't think that without Kawhi, the Clippers can get that from Harden or Westbrook, right? I think Paul George, I'm not even sure Paul George can get 30 every game, but maybe he can. But I'm not sold that Harden or Westbrook can. And so without a Kawhi Leonard, now I think the Clippers are in a little bit of trouble because of Doncic and Irving, who can get 30 plus every game, at least 30 every game. When Kawhi's there, Kawhi gets about 25, 30, Paul George 27, 30. Whatever Westbrook or Harden give them, that's why they become hard to beat, because anything additional, 21 points, 19 points, 18 points from Westbrook, 21 from Harden, added to what Kawhi's 27 to 30, Paul George 25 to 30. Now this team becomes hard to beat because then they're going to get maybe something from the bench, maybe some from the other role players. Now I don't think the Mavericks can beat them, but without Kawhi, if Westbrook and Harden have bad games, because like I told you, I think Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving can get 30 every game, right? So that'd be 60 plus. Anything they get from anybody else is going to be a plus, and so the Mavericks are going to beat you. So that's why I think that without Kawhi Leonard, this series now evens out just a little bit. It may even favor the Mavericks in some way. They didn't play good in game 1, but I think the role players will obviously the role players are going to play better at home. But if they can get some production from Hardaway Jr., some of these younger guys on the road, because Doncic and Kyrie are going to get 30 plus, now I think Dallas could win. So we'll see how it plays out. But I think it's even matched now without Kawhi. I thought they had an advantage with the Clippers being healthy. But with Kawhi out and not really knowing when he's going to come back, I think it's kind of even now. Maybe it's a little slight advantage Dallas. We'll see what happens in game 2, but boy, I tell you that series is going to be really, really good. And I still have the Clippers. I mean, I picked the Clippers to win, and I'm not going to get away from that. But I really, really do believe that now this has gotten really, really interesting. And so yeah, we'll see what happens. And so let's see the next game were the Pacers and the Bucks. Let me see if I can find my Pacers and the Bucks. Because I've got all kinds of stuff here. Let's see. Yeah, Milwaukee. So let's see here. You got Milwaukee and Indiana. No Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so I like the Bucks. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I took the Bucks. I don't know to win the series. But without Giannis, this team's a little different. And so I wasn't sure. I thought it might. I think Giannis will be back before the series ends. So, but this was an opportunity for Indiana to get a win without Giannis. But Milwaukee comes out, gets the win 104-94 in game 1. And Dame Lillard, 11 of 24 for 35 points, 6 of 11 from 3-point range. He got 35 points in the first half alone. Chris Middleton, 9 of 14 for 23 points, 10 rebounds. Indiana Pacers, uh, Pascal Siakam. I believe, yes, Siakam. I think I have 15 or 25 for 36 points, 13 rebounds. He had a big game. Miles Turner, 15 and 17 for 17 points. Giannis did not play, but like I said, I do expect him to play at some point during this series. I do think though that this was a game that Indiana could have won and they didn't. May come back to regret this. Next game is tomorrow, but I don't know. Lillard went off. They needed everything from him. They needed a big game from him, and he gave it to them. But I think Indiana's going to bounce back. Indiana's a tough team. I don't know if they have enough to beat Milwaukee once Giannis comes back, but I think this could go interesting. This could go to 6, maybe 7 games. I'm not sure because at times, Milwaukee's look good and at times they look bad. Now I like Milwaukee. They're my favorite team from the East, but I don't think they're better than Boston, even if they're healthy. And so it's very interesting because I think they got the players to run with Boston, but I just don't think they'll beat them they've been very inconsistent, I think, for me. So I don't know. I really don't know how that game would go. Um, so I just I feel like Milwaukee will win this game, especially if Giannis comes back. But um, I'm not sure. I'm just not sure if I don't think Indiana will win if Giannis comes back, but I think it's going to be a pretty good series. So we'll see what happens. I do have Milwaukee, I believe. I was trying to see if I could find my prediction. I'm pretty sure I took them. But again, I think it's going to be a good series. And then last night, the last game you had this was a good game. I stayed up all night watching. I watched all the games, but I stayed up pretty late watching this game. But this was the Oklahoma City Thunder taking on the New Orleans Pelicans without Zion. Or OKC, the number 1 seed. I didn't see a lot of OKC. People say, man, they're really good, and they are. But playoffs are a different. When you get into the playoffs, mindsets change. Teams that didn't do so good, that are 6 seeds with experience, come to play in the playoffs. So I didn't know how OKC was going to fare against the Pelicans because I like the Pelicans, Ingram, McCollum, and Zion. I like that team. I know more about them than I do OKC, but OKC has a number 1 seed in the tough West Division. So OKC can play. Young, but they got some studs. And they get the 2-point win in game 1, 94-92. SGA, 11 of 24 for 28 points for the Thunder. Jalen Williams, 8 of 18 for 19 points. The Pelicans, Trey Murphy, the third, 8 of 18 for 21 points. He was 5 of 12 from 3-point range. And then CJ McCollum, 9 of 22 for 20 points. Valanciunas, Jonas, 20 rebounds, man. He was a beast on the boards. But again, there's no Zion. So I'm going to say this right here. If Zion Williamson played, the Pelicans would beat OKC. I mean, I'm serious. If he was healthy and he played every game in this series, OKC would lose to the Pelicans. That's just what I believe. I think he's that much of a beast and he makes that much of a difference because without Zion last night, they almost beat OKC in OKC. So what that game told me was, even though OKC won, the Pelicans can win this series. They can, even without even without Zion, they can win this series without him. And because they were on the road and they almost pulled an upset here in game 1, but they didn't. So they have enough to beat OKC without Zion. Zion comes back, and I think the advantage goes to the Pelicans, and the Pelicans win this series. So I'm going to pay close attention to this game, and I just think that this game, I think that's going to go to a 7 games. I really do. It's just, I'm telling you, OKC's good. They're young, but they got some studs over there, man. They can play, no doubt about that. But I just think that if Giannis comes back, it's the advantage Pelicans, and I think the Pelicans have a good chance to win. Obviously, I think they'll win if Giannis comes back and play. I mean, Zion comes back and plays, but I still think they could probably win if even if you don't come back. But if Zion comes back to play, boy, I think the advantage goes to the Pelicans. But it'll be a good series to watch, and they'll resume play tomorrow. So definitely going to keep an eye on that series. And so that's the playoffs just from Sunday. I'm not going to go back to Saturday, but moving forward, I'll recap every game that's played from here on out till we crown the NBA champions. Of course, to me, I had it early on, and I'm not going to change late in the season, but I do have the Clippers in Denver in the Western Conference. And boy, I tell you, if Kawhi plays, I think the Clippers have a really good chance to beat Denver. But to me, it's not just Kawhi; they all have to be healthy. Harden, Westbrook, George, and Leonard. If one of those guys is not healthy in that series, should the Clippers and the Nuggets play, um, then I give it to the Nuggets all the way to Denver. But I have the Clippers healthy in the Western Conference with Denver, which I think would be a great one. The Celtics will be in that matchup. And you look at Milwaukee and you think, okay, Milwaukee and the Celtics might be good. And they might. Philadelphia, but Joel Embiid is not healthy. I don't want Joel Embiid in the Eastern Conference if he's not healthy, because I think that the Celtics will wipe him out. Here's an interesting one: the New York Knicks. I want to see. I don't think the Knicks can beat the Celtics, but I think there would be some damn good games between those two because with Joel Embiid hurt and not 100%. I don't think Philadelphia can compete with I don't think Philadelphia can compete with Boston. Milwaukee, if Giannis isn't 100%, but if he is, that's always a good match. But I still think the Celtics win. But the Knicks, they're hungry, and Brunson is like that. When we talk about Kyrie Irving, this guy's probably going to hit 30 plus every game. Pretty much. But they play defense, and they're playing in a way right now where they're hustling, and I like their defense. And like I said, I don't think the Knicks can beat the Celtics, no way. But I think it'd be interesting. I think they would. They would give them a game. In other words, the Celtics would have to play their A game every single time they came, because if they can't, I think the Knicks can beat them. So if they have an off game, they don't come out, they're struggling, I think the Knicks can win. So it'll just be interesting. Like I said, I don't think New York can beat them, but I might want to see New York just play the Celtics just to see how good that series would be. But again, I'm going to have to stick with Milwaukee if Giannis is healthy to go with Boston. But I think Boston comes out of the East. I've had them out of the East for quite some time now. I'm not so sure who comes out of the West. I think I'm going to wait a little bit. But like I said, I've got the Clippers and the Nuggets in the Western Conference. So we'll see what happens there. It's going to be interesting. So tomorrow I'll come back out, and tonight's games will definitely. Let me see here real quick before I go and I jump ship here. Let's see. Today's Monday, and so you got. Let's just go ahead and preview some of these games. You got the Lakers and the Nuggets. So this is what I'm going to say about tonight's game. The Nuggets are up 1-0 here. I think the Lakers, look, Anthony Davis had 32 points. You can't ask him to play. I mean, he could get more points, but he played a great game. LeBron James was, I think, 27, 28 points. So the Stars played. They didn't get help from anybody else. They got to get they got to get more points. They got 20-something points from Reeves. They need to get that. They need to get more production from the other three starters and their bench. I mean, that's the only way you're going to beat Denver, because I think Denver can get a shot off anytime they want. Look, you can cover Jokic. I don't care who you are. The guy can get a shot off anytime he wants. He's the best player to me in the world right now, today, in my opinion. But they're big. Gordon, Porter, Jokic, they're big. Their front court is big, and I think they give problems to the Lakers. But I think in that game one, you saw where the Lakers, to me, maybe they ran out of gas. They just didn't seem like they had enough. Where you look at Denver, they were still going. So I just think Denver's going to be tough to beat. But tonight, the Lakers, this is a must win for the Lakers. And I'm saying that this is a must win because if the Denver Nuggets win this game, I think they could sweep the Lakers again. Because let's just say if Denver wins tonight and they go 2-0, then they'll go to LA. I don't. LA might be able to get one, but I don't think they beat them twice in LA, right? So let's say they split it over there, then they come back to Denver 3-1, right? Denver just has to win one out of the next three. So that just puts the Lakers at a disadvantage. I don't think they can do that. So for me, this is a must-win game for the Lakers because if they win and they go back to LA 1-1, if they win two over there, right, then they're sitting pretty. But if they split, they're still in this series, right? Because they go back, they lose, they can win, they can come back and win at their home. And then you can go to game seven in Denver. And then that's anybody's game because you have LeBron James, right? And anything can happen. So if you get to a game seven and you have a LeBron James 80, but if you have a LeBron James, anything can happen. So if you're Denver, the last thing you want to do, even if you're playing at home, is play the Lakers or LeBron James in a game seven because anything can happen. I mean, this guy could have his best game and he could beat you. So I think the Lakers need to win this game. If they lose this game and they go down 2-0, I think it's over because I don't think they go back to LA. If they're lucky, they'll win one out of two, but I don't think they'll win both of them in LA. And if they split the series, then Denver's coming back 3-1 at their place with three chances to advance to the second round. I think that's big time advantage Denver. Um, and look, if they lose tonight, I think the Lakers might get swept. So to me, this is a must-win game tonight for Los Angeles. We'll see if they can pull it out. Then you got the Magic and the Cavalier. You know, I like the Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell had a big game in game one. I think they'll win game two. I don't think the Magic, if they win one, will win one until they get back home. But I have the Cavaliers winning the series and this game tonight. And then you got the 76ers and the Knicks. Look, Joel Embiid was hurt, but he played pretty good on Saturday. And Tyra Maxey had a great game. The Knicks, they're playing New York. This is going to be a good series. This is going to be a really, really good series. If Joel Embiid can get healthy, wow, watch out. But I think the Knicks will win this series. But they're going to have it's going to be a battle. So tonight's going to be another good game. I don't think Philadelphia necessarily needs to win tonight because I think they're capable of going back home if Joel Embiid feels good, and they can win two against New York at home. So it would be an advantage for Philadelphia to win tonight because then they go two at home. But if they lose and go down 0-2, I think Philadelphia is capable of the next two at home in Philly. They could win both of those and then come back to a game five in New York and possibly win it. So it would be good for them to win this game, be competitive. But if they lose, I don't think they're still out of the series. I think they can go back home. The next two will be in Philadelphia, and I think they can win both of them. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, I think that's going to be a good series. I love the Thunder. The Thunder and the Pelican series is really good to me. This series, New York and Philadelphia is good, and I love the Dallas and the Clipper. I think are good. The ones that I don't want to miss. I want to see every game that's played here in the playoffs between those two teams. So we'll see how that plays out. I'll be back tomorrow to talk more NBA playoffs. They switch it over to baseball, and this year here on this podcast, I want to follow. We'll talk about the Yankees and the Dodgers and the Braves and all these teams, the Rangers that could possibly uh, get to the World Series. But every day I'm going to talk about my Houston Astros, and right now I got to tell you, I've been silent. I'm very disappointed. We're struggling. We lost another series 2-1 to the Washington Nationals. Um, you know, um, 6-0 last night, and let me just kind of go and let you know what the stats say. So Altuve 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. Alvarez 1 for 4, 1 strikeout. Tucker 0 for 4, 2 Ks. 2 strikeouts. Bregman 0 for 4. Pena 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. McCormick was the only one that did anything as far as the offense. He was 2 for 3 with 1 strikeout. And then Singleton 0 for 3. Myers 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout. And Carantini 1 for 3. So total for the Astros offense last night, they had 31 at bats, no runs, 4 hits, 0 RBI, 0 home runs, 0 walks, 9 Ks. This is not going to do it, man. It's just not going to do it. We were better than that offensively, I think. And we just, for whatever the reason is, I know that sometimes, we start off slow and everybody says, don't worry. And they're going to pick up. And look, I know this team can pick up. I know this team, if they barely make it to the postseason, they can beat anybody. They have the talent. I mean, they've won World Series with this team. The core of these guys are back. So I'm not concerned about whether they get in the postseason. It's a long, long season. But other teams have gotten better. The Rangers are better. The further you fall, right? And other teams are good. I mean, you may not make the playoffs. It's not like you can lose a bunch of games and then the Astros could get on a 12, 13 game win streak and still not get first place because the other teams in the division, like the Rangers, they win more than they lose. So losing every game early on is dangerous for me from what I'm seeing from the other teams, right? The Yankees are playing better now. And it's not just the offense, sometimes the offense, they just get, it's been a disappointing start for whatever the reason is. The pitching last night for the Astros, Hunter Brown, 4 innings pitch, gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks. He had 6 Ks, not bad. But then Dubin, I think I see he pitched 1 inning, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 1 K. Scott comes in to pitch an inning, gives up 1 hit, 1 run, the home run. So the bullpen comes in because then Bilek comes in, pitches 2 innings, gives up 3 hits, but no runs, 2 Ks, 1 walk. So the bullpen comes in, gives up 2 runs. Now, the game was already over before the bullpen got there because we couldn't score. So before Brown sat down, we were going to lose that game because offensively we didn't do anything. But the bullpen has given up a lot of runs too. I'm concerned about our bullpen right now. I know Verlander's back. He's not 100% to me, but he had a good first game. So having Verlander healthy in the rest of the season is big. Valdez, we'll see how healthy he gets. Christian Javier didn't pitch this game because he had some kind of soreness in his neck or something. So I know our pitching isn't 100%, but we're still good enough without Verlander to win some games, to win some series. I think right now we've got to win series. I know we're going to, the 3-game series, we're probably going to lose 1, but we can't lose 2 or get swept. Like, we've got to start playing better now. We can't wait till middle of May or June to start playing, Astro baseball because we're going to be way behind. I don't think we're going to be able to catch up. So if there's no sense of urgency from this team, in my opinion, they got to get going now because the Yankees with Juan Soto and Jared Cole gets back, they're not going to lose very many games. They're winning with Judge struggling somewhat, right? The Rangers, they're not going to lose very much. So these are American League teams. So the Astros, I think, need to get going again. I'll say this, that I know they're experienced. They're an experienced team, and if they get into the playoffs, the postseason, they can beat anybody. But we're not beating anybody the way we're pitching, the way our bullpen is playing, and the way our offense. Because consistently, I don't think we've been able to put a 4 or 5 game win streak. We're barely winning 1, 2, and then we drop 2. So with those stats that I gave you from a Washington team, that really isn't very good. To get 0 for 4 on these players who I'm talking 0 for 4 couldn't get a hit is a little interesting to me and a little concerning. So for Houston, we need to get back on the ball. I mean, I think we need to start winning some games. So I'm not going to say that I am to a point where I'm panicking, but I am a little concerned with the way we're playing. They're off tonight. Hopefully, I think they got the Cubs. So we'll see how that works. I think that's what I saw. But again, Little concerned with the way the Astros have started this off. So we'll see how that goes. They're off tonight, and they'll be back tomorrow for a series. I believe it's against the Chicago Cubs. Hopefully, I'm right. Now, we'll turn it over to some softball. And of course, my favorite team, softball, the Lady Longhorns, the number one team. We haven't talked much about them. They had a 3-game series against Kansas, and to be honest with you, they swept them. But Reese Atwood, the catcher for the Longhorns, who's from Toloso Midway from this area, TM, and she is lights out. I need to get her stats, but man, she is playing just great. She's a sophomore, I believe. Sophomore, junior. God, I can't remember offhand. I'll have to take a look at that. Next time I come in, I'll have that for you. But she's been playing great. I mean, she's power, home run. I think in this series she had 2 home runs in 1 game. She's been playing great. But the Lady Longhorns all together, very good, solid team. They're number one right now. And listen, it's gonna be tough because if they have to play Oklahoma again, it's gonna be tough. Oklahoma definitely tough. But when they played earlier, the Lady Longhorns took them 2-1. But it's gonna be very interesting. Love seeing this team play. Got some great pitching, some young pitchers that are doing some big things, mixed in with some veterans, some veteranship. So what I'm saying is, could the Lady Longhorns win a championship? Absolutely. I think right now they have the team. Oklahoma's great. There's some other teams that are good, but right now, the last couple of years watching the Lady Longhorns, I think they do have the team right now. They have the hitters, and they have the pitching that I think could win them a championship. So it's gonna be very interesting. Like I said, there's a lot of great teams still out there that can play. Just because you're number one doesn't mean that you're the best team, because it really depends on everyone else has talent. So it's how you play every game. It's depth. It's what you have. It's good pitching. It's good hitting. Oklahoma is still, I think, the best team in college um, softball. Even though the Lady Longhorns are number one, just because of what they've done the last couple of years and the streaks that they've been able to go on consistently and the championships that they won. But the Lady Longhorns have definitely gotten better every year, and I think they're right there to a point this year where I think they have all of the pieces right now to win a championship. So I'm going to be watching every game, paying attention, come in here and talk during the softball season about what they're doing from here on out. But hopefully, when it's all said and done, they will be the last team standing, and they'll bring a championship back over to the uh, the 40 acres, right? Let's see. Let's see what happens to UT back to the school, because it'd be great. And like I said, I think that they have the team to do that. So again, we'll be talking more softball in the next couple of days. I think they have another game on Thursday, and then they have a weekend a series. So we'll see. I'll take a look at that schedule. And then the last thing I want to talk about today, and that's the boxing match that took place on Saturday. Devan Haney, Ryan Garcia. I'm a Ryan Garcia fan for years now. I've been a fan of his. I just think he's got good size. He's strong. He's fast. When he lost to Tank Davis, I was I didn't like the whole clause and everything that was going on. I just think it didn't work to his favor, and it showed in the fight. And he got punched and went to a knee and just kind of threw in the towel. Wasn't a surprise to me, but when he was fighting Haney, I thought he had a chance. But then he started. I was a little concerned, like a lot of people, because that's just, I was hearing him. Some of the stuff he was saying was just kind of a little concerning to me. I didn't know mentally where he was at, if he was in the right frame of mind to be able to fight. But I don't know. Maybe it's something that psychs him out. I don't know if that's something that gets him going. I really don't know. I haven't read enough of Ryan Garcia yet today to figure out, if that's just something that he does to pump himself up, or is there something really there? But at the end of the day, he won that fight, right? He definitely, like I said, I guess I was surprised that he knocked Haney down 3 times. I didn't see that coming, but overall, I think I thought he could win the fight. I did from the very beginning, but I didn't think he was going to knock him down 3 times. This is a bad look. Now, he didn't get the weigh in, so he didn't get the belt. Didn't seem to bother him that much, I guess. But I mean, I guess he's making some money. I'm not sure, but I would have wanted to. If I win the bout, I want the title. But he wasn't able to make weight for whatever the reason is. I know there's been some reports coming out of why he's saying he did certain things, but I'm not sure what's going on. But he did win the fight. That was a big time win for Ryan Garcia, and in some ways he's on top of the world right now. The division is tough, but this kid is tough. He's a tough kid. And if he can get to his weight and fight in his division, I think he's dangerous because I think he has the speed and he has the power, man. And he showed that against Haney. I don't know if Haney, just kind of took some, kind of thought maybe something was wrong with him, and there was some when he fought, just kind of took a step back. I know he said that he got caught asleep a couple of times, but to be knocked down 3 times in a fight says a lot. He was on. There was no defense, and so a bad look for Haney to me. But Garcia just showed the world, man, that he can box with the best of them because he knocked down one of the best, right? Even though he doesn't have the title for the reasons that I said earlier. And so it's gonna be very interesting to see who's next and where Ryan Garcia goes from here. But again, here on this podcast, I am a Ryan Garcia fan, and I'm going to talk about other boxers, but definitely Ryan Garcia. We'll see where he goes, but I was glad that he got the win, and not too happy or thrilled with all the stuff that he's saying. But listen, if that works for him, and look, he feels like that's what motivates him to get out there and kick butt, then you do what you got to do to motivate you. Not sure where all that goes, but in this fight, he was definitely on. And I think he proved to the world that he belongs at the top and he can fight the best. So again, I'm glad he won the fight, and we'll see what's next for him. But that's going to do it here for the GT Sports College and Professional podcast. Like I said, I'll be coming on tomorrow again. This is pre-recorded, so it didn't go live. It's just pre-recorded, and it'll go up here on this Facebook Facebook page here later tonight. People can listen to it. Like I said, I also write things down on my page. So if I definitely love to hear from you. I just like to debate. I don't really get into arguments and drama and all this. I mean, I debate. I read a lot. I follow a lot of journalists, and I try to get information. And I watch a lot of fights and I watch a lot of games. So I just like to come in here and give my thoughts. So I definitely want to hear from other people. And like I said, it's not about I don't like putting people down. I don't want people putting me down. I like to just debate sports and let you know where I come from. I think I can learn from other people, obviously, but I love to debate sports. And so, you can debate me on in the comment section, or maybe you can come on and we can debate this. Like I said, we talk everything. We talk everything from college, softball, baseball, football, basketball, boys and girls, men and women. I start following the WNBA because I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan, so I'll definitely be watching her WNBA. And then professional, I mean, I love the MLB, I love NFL, I love NBA, UFC, boxing. So all that stuff. If you're interested in there, definitely, man, I'd love to hear from you and debate. That's what this is about. I love talking sports. So if I can find other people that want to talk sports with me, like I said, definitely join in the podcast. Let me know, or just debate me, or let me know what you're thinking on certain topics in the comments section when I post something up. So again, thank you very much. This podcast will be uploaded here in just a bit, maybe around another hour or two. It'll be on this GT Sports College and Professional sports page. And then I'll be back tomorrow to recap some of the games, NBA games that were played tonight, and then games that'll be scheduled for tomorrow. And then we'll talk some NFL tomorrow because the NFL draft is coming on Thursday. My team, the Dallas Cowboys, what will they do, if anything? Stay tuned as we talk NFL draft tomorrow and Wednesday. Peace out.